Hello. Third time. Hoping you can hear me. Can you hear me? How's the sound? Let me know if it's freezing or not coming in clearly, and I will go back and come back in. Um, but welcome. Hello. Welcome to day 36. So the sound is working. I'm so happy. Thank you all for joining. As we continue on our journey to 50 days. It's getting cool outside, so I'm wrapped up in my sweater. I hope you all are staying warm. Um, it's going to be a cold winter. It's already it's already day 36. So thank you all so much for joining. We have 4 more days to 40, and then 10 more days after that. So 14 more days, and we'll be already at 50 days, and I just can't believe it went by so fast. But thank you all for being with me. Some of you have been here since the beginning. Some of you are just joining. If you're just joining, please check out the replays. We've been having a really good discussion. Yesterday, we talked about setting up your business, whether that be a sole proprietor, if you want to be a sole proprietor, or a incorporation, or partnership, or LLC. I just highlighted some of the differences among those, and check them out. Whatever's best on that is the best fit for your own personal business goals. But do talk to an attorney so that you can get expert legal advice, because I'm not a lawyer. So check out that replay. And also the day before that, we talked about who does the budget. So if you've been grant consultant for a few years and you've never had to draft the budget, or if someone always led that, you just work closely with them. Just something to think about as you start to get into grant consulting, working with clients on the side. That may be something that you may have to lead and draft the budget. So do take that into consideration. And we talked about a number of other topics: business expenses, how to attract the clients of your dreams, how to set your pricing, charging like a project fee versus hourly. Talked about how to really speak to your journey, sharing your journey and leveraging your journey, your expertise and your background. I really talked about some things, how to interview clients. That was something I did wrong for so long. So check out that replay. I think that was day 17. That was a really good discussion that we had as well. We also talked about, I really wanted you to focus on getting your LinkedIn up to really highlight your background and expertise. Using your LinkedIn as your website. Don't worry about having to launch a website at this time. Really keeping all costs to a minimum. So really update your headline, your about section, this area where you introduce yourself. A lot of people don't pay attention to those areas. And then, of course, your actual resume that lists out jobs that you had and your experience there and things that you accomplished. So check out the replays. We've had some really good great discussions throughout this campaign. So again, this is day 36, and we're going to talk about setting your pricing. Like, where does the number even come from? I really encourage you to charge a project fee monthly, 6-month, 12-month retainer, 18-month retainer, however you decide, and charge a project fee. Move away from hourly. Try not to even start with the hourly concept. Clients will really probably that's the way that they come up with their budgets and things like that. But just really try to stay away from that, just because you're gonna bust the budget. And if you really want to share that with them, I always tell them I'm going to go over your budget if we do hourly, because I'm not going to stop working because I'm hitting my hours for the week, especially if we have a grant deadline and we want to get this grant in so you can get these potential funds. So if you say it like that, they're more inclined to work with you. So really try to just, create a project fee. So what I wanted to share is like where to even get the number from. You're like, okay, so what do I even charge? What does that even look like? I really want you to think about your own business expenses. That's something, again, we talked about prior in one of our topics, was to think about your business expenses. So the internet services, any software that you have to purchase Microsoft Office packages, any type of design things or you use, whether it be Photoshop. A lot of people are really using Canva. It's a really great tool. It's really easy. You don't have to be a designer at all. Canva is very simple. And I just highly encourage you to utilize free platforms, utilize the free services, even like an email service like MailChimp, utilize a free platform. When again, while you're just getting started. But any other business expense, I listed some business expenses and again in another video, so check that out. So of course, come up with your business expenses, which should be minimal. You shouldn't have like $2,000 monthly business expenses. If you do, again, just getting started while you're at your 9 to 5. Even while you're at your 9 to 5, that's too much. But still, just come up with your business expenses. Write down that number for the month, as well as your living expenses. So um, think about basic living expenses. What is necessary? So rent, mortgage, water, sewage, lights, your electric, of course, gas if you have it. You want to think about internet, which could kind of be like a business expense. If you're like in a community like where I live, you have to pay for parking, trash services, sewage, all of those living expenses. You got to have the internet. Again, you can kind of put either you put that under your business or basic living expenses, because at this point you got to have Wi-Fi, especially in this virtual world. So calculate that. And I would take your debts, like if you have a car note, any medical debt, student loan, credit cards, I would put them in like another bucket. But really list out your living expenses, and of course include like food, like your monthly grocery bill, and total it all up. Total it all up. Put it on my tab, and then tell your friends all the fun you had. So total it up and add your business expenses to that as well. And that total is going to be your basic bottom line fee just for a basic project. That's where the number comes from. So if your basic living expenses is 2,000 and your business expenses total to like just say $250, it shouldn't be much, because again, we're using all the free platforms, very low cost. This is monthly, so you're looking at about $22.50 a month. So to do a basic package for your clients, again, based on what they need, basic like grant research and writing, you want to start your packages at $22.50. You want to cover your basic expenses. You want to cover your basic business expense. You want to cover your business expenses and start from there. And all your packages should build off of that. So that's where the number comes from. That's where it is. If your employment were to end, unfortunately, or something that was just completely out of your control, if you get laid off or whatever reason, you can cover your living expenses. So really take that into consideration when building your prices. I know a lot of people just pull numbers out of the air, like, oh, this sounds good, or this is what they want to pay me. This is your fee. They can't, meet that. Again, your basic package fee. If they can pay that, then they are potentially not your client. This is when you're just getting started. But as you build your services, you can add other products. You can create ebooks. You can do like one-on-ones. And just other income generating services that you can do. Again, this is after you continue as you're working your business, doing more and more. But as you're still working the 9 to 5 and doing this on the side, just want to focus on this one thing right now, just to be reasonable with your time and make sure that you can provide high level of service, of course, to your clients. So again, I'll put everything in its own bucket. Have your business expenses in a bucket, your basic living expenses, and then your debt. And create your basic package based off of your basic living expenses plus your business expenses. And then you start your packages off with that. And when I say package, your basic scope of work, this is what you would offer a month for your client based off of what they need. And it starts at $22.50. That's the number that I, for instance, that we're just using as an example. Now, I know there are other parts of the country where, like California, the parts of California and New York, where rent, mortgage is just much more expensive, astronomical to be exact. And maybe your rent alone could be like 4,000 or 3,000 for just like a 500 square foot place. So I don't really know those areas as far as like clientele and what they would pay. So really do your research in regards to that. But I still would say if that's the living expenses, then the um, pay should kind of meet that. And I know that's not always the case, and I know it's generally not the case, but still take that into consideration. You want to cover your basic expenses, and that's the way to come up with your rate. So hopefully this information was useful for you. If you have any other questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And again, I've been sharing on different and more information, tips, tools, and resources for starting your grant writing business. You can get on the email list. I've been sending these out daily during this time while we're on our 50-day journey. And the link is in my bio. It's junefirstfirm.com. All you have to do is just drop in your email and you'll be right on the list. And we'll continue on our journey tomorrow. It's day 37. And I'll share out that topic for those that are on the email. So thanks so much for joining again. We are on our way to 50 days to helping you start your grant writing business, sharing 50